This is the best of the Tory Lowe Show on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Look, we had a busy weekend. We had a lot of people that got shot over the weekend, and our population is not even at 600,000. We just below 600,000 in population in the city of Milwaukee. If you look at the population sign, it's not over 600,000, and as far as like the population for the city. But I was talking to Andrew, and we have a saying here in Milwaukee that when it get hot outside, people tend to, act a little crazy. But you said you was living in San Antonio?
Yes, sir.
And you said San Antonio is always what? Hot?
Always hot.
And how many homicides did they have in 2025?
105.
So in a place that's always hot, San Antonio, is 105 homicides last year.
Yes, sir.
And how many did Milwaukee have? We ended up at what, 140 something? Okay, so what I'm saying is, are we saying that because we know people here in Milwaukee act a little bit, different? Now, how many? 141, yeah. Okay, what is the population of San Antonio? What is the population?
I think it's like 1.1, 1.2.
In the city?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have less than 600,000. So in San Antonio, with 1 million, it's 104 homicides.
Actually, I just looked it up, 1.5.
So 1.5 million people in San Antonio.
Yeah.
It's always hot there.
Yep.
Milwaukee, it ain't even got hot yet. And I think we're at the level of homicides where we were last year, where they said homicides was up 8%. And so all I'm going to say is this, it's still early. It's still early in the year, and we can make a difference. We can still make a difference. Don't give up hope. And sometimes I always say, it's not about hoping that somebody comes and does something for us. It's about the hope in yourself that you're going to get out here and do something productive to make a change. Now, when I say hope, I don't mean hope that somebody give us something. I'm saying hope that we as individuals will start becoming about that action and demand accountability where we live, in our neighborhoods, with our family members, with our children. We got to start being about that action, because when there's no action, you get reaction. And what we're seeing right now is a reaction to what happened over the weekend. People sitting back, analyzing, giving opinions, saying different things about what they're observing. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Did you come to the conclusion that I am going to do something? And if you didn't come to that conclusion, then the words that you're saying, the opinions you have mean nothing. Because if you didn't come to the conclusion that we have to repair the village, if you didn't come to the conclusion that I got to do my little or find out what my little is so everybody don't have to do a lot, then it's just a meaningless conversation. If this doesn't drive you to try to do something to make your area, your community better, then you're just reacting, and you're going to keep reacting to everything, and nothing's going to get done. When I heard that there was a lot of shootings, I got calls. Because this is what I do. People call me, hey, Tory, this is what's going on. Tory, can you help with this? That's how I receive a lot of the things that go on in the city from the individuals that are affected. They'll try to reach out and get me involved to try to bring a solution. That's my 17 years of advocacy. That's what I do. I don't go to meetings. I don't go hang out with, ain't no buddy. The people call me and say, hey, Tory, this is what took place. I need you to come assist. By request. So we all can do this. We all can do this. No grant money. No grant money. No organization. No church affiliation. No political affiliation. I did it because this is what I felt like my purpose to help build the village. And we all can do that. We all can say, hey, look, where do I place my energy to make this better? If you haven't came to that conclusion, then your opinion or how you feel means nothing. I said at the top of the hour, if I'm around my brothers and sisters from the front lines, I'm taking their side. If they say something ain't right, I'm going to listen to them. Why? Because they're in deep. They're not reacting. They're trying to tell you something. What the lady in the color purple say? God is trying to tell you something. What was that? Suge came and tried to tell the daddy that God was trying to tell you something. That's the people on the front lines. They trying to tell you something. I'm out here with them. I'm on the front lines. I'm trying to tell y'all something. And it may sound different from a person that's reacting. Like, oh, wow, this is crazy. No, I'm going to say, hey, look, it's bad out here. But I know the secret to making it better. And they say, how you know? No, I do know. All we got to do is regroup, rethink, reshape, and everybody have to commit to making it better in their neighborhood. We have to make a commitment with each other. We have to make and look at each other and say, we're the ones that's going to restore. And the only reason it's not being restored is because we haven't made that commitment or agreement with each other. We've been siloed, we've been individualized, and we've been ununified. And with all that being said, now that we understand what has happened, we can take that information and start moving in the right direction. But one person can't do it. It's going to take a community to save a community. And when we're tired, and when we're fed up with the conditions as a whole, that's when we're going to get out here and start demanding the right thing to take place. That's when we're going to start demanding the right things from our elected officials. That's when we're going to start demanding the right things from each other. That's when we're going to start demanding the right things to happen from our children, from each other as partners, and from each other as a community. And you know where it all starts? You know how that chain reaction all starts? It all starts with looking in the mirror and saying that I'm going to be a part of what's right. When that happens, then it affects your family, your children. It starts affecting your partner. It starts affecting the neighborhood you live in. It starts affecting the leadership you start to select because you're trying to condition everybody to do the right thing by you being the example of what the right thing even looked like. And this is why I say everybody ain't going. Everybody, it's still some people hate that I'm the way I am. I'm super active. They don't like see me coming because they know that I'm going to talk to them from that perspective, and they make all their money off being reactionary. They make all their money off of people being confused, chaotic. There's a lot of money in chaos. It's a lot of money in confusion. It's a lot of money in it. A lot of people, they have those meetings. The meeting is the money. The hot topic, 8 people got killed. 8 people got killed in Milwaukee this weekend. We finna have a meeting. Okay, that's the money. You coming to the meeting, signing that piece of paper is the money, because they're going to say that they had a meeting about the 8 shootings, but they didn't have an action plan for the 8 shootings. Understand what I'm saying? It comes a point where we're going to have to say, look, no more meetings, no more of the fugaziness. Let's be about that action. Let's get out and touch our neighbors. Let's get out and touch the community. Let's get out and be an example of what we want to live next to. Let's be what we want to see. And then when we start doing that, everybody got to fall in line. When it all starts with you. And then your family, then your children will fall in line. The male and female ideas have to resonate, change. Nobody has a plan, an action plan. I give out action plans every day. That's not true. I give out action plans every day. Matter of fact, they call me for them. Tory, what to do? I tell them exactly what to do. And they came on the show and told you. So that's not true, LaRon. You may not know, you may not have no plan. But it's all of that, nobody don't know, it's a lie. You're not following the person that know. You're not listening to the person that know. You too busy looking at Pooh Shiesty. You too busy looking at Baddies Club. You too busy looking at the drama and not even assisting the people that even know what to do. I talk to the people that know what to do all the time. They don't support those kind of people because it ain't no money in the cure. We got guests. We got advocate Von Mays, activist, founder of Community Task Force MKE, in the studio. I be telling y'all, I bring him in. I bring him in because he was just up in here doing something else. Yeah. And I stopped him and I said, hey, come through. Come in. Because sometimes we got to have a real conversation, Vaughn, when it comes to community after a weekend that we just had.
Man, what a weekend. And somebody else just got shot today about an hour ago or so.
Well, I was in here. I'm going to tell you this, it may be a couple more before we get off this show. Yeah. But that never stops. I mean, every year we go through this. Mm-hmm. And many times we have these conversations in the aftermath. Mm-hmm. But I realized that we're having these conversations and nothing changes, which means that now I have a problem with the conversations. Because if the conversations is not leading you back to what you can do as an individual to be about that action, then the conversation is a problem. Bro.
Yeah, it adds to it, bro. Listen, it was a young lady from, and I just had a rant yesterday where I'm a little sick of it. Mm-hmm. Everything you see is everybody want to talk about the problem. Everybody want to talk about what's bad, what's wrong, what ain't gonna happen, what's no use in doing. And I'm like, just imagine if the people who's supposed to be the moral higher authority looking down have that concept of their city. That it's never gonna be better. It's always gonna be worse. You can't do nothing about it. Imagine the people on the other side. Why do you think they out here wilding and throwing themselves away like that? Because if the people who's supposed to be the best of us think that way about themselves and about their community, how you expect them to have hope? How you expect them to wake up every day thinking something could be different? You know what I mean?
Well, this is where I say, if you're about that action, the kids will see the example. Mm-hmm. See, we in tough competition for the minds of these young people. Mm. You got different ideas out here functioning in our community. You got the gang culture. Mm-hmm. You got the pimp culture. Mm-hmm. You even got the Christian culture that's out here. Sometimes I can't tell what that is. When I was a kid, it was more distinct. I don't know what that is. I'm being honest. I just don't know what it is at this point. But it's all out here. Mm-hmm. And so I was saying that the front lines have to emerge back in the front. Mm-hmm. Because it's so when I when I talk to a bunch of young people, and you can tell them something powerful, but when they go back to where they live, and when they go out on the front porch and they spending a lot of their time where they live and being influenced by their surroundings, many times those are negative influences.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'll get to touch that child or talk to that child or see that child every other week or, not as much. But the majority of the time, they in the neighborhoods, fight or flight mode, dealing with people who have maybe, out here with the ideal of hustling, G-code type philosophies and things like that.
Yeah.
It takes a tough kid to make it over the peer pressure that they're facing 24 hours a day because now we got social media. So I was trying to tell somebody, I was like, when we was coming up, once we got in the house, it was over.
Yeah.
Now they sitting in the house, high blood pressure because of what's going on social media. It's some adults that's on social media with the high blood pressure.
Man, listen.
That's all I'm saying.
Man, listen, it comes a time where accountability is across the board, right? They always say don't point the finger because you got fingers pointing back at yourself, right? And what you was talking about earlier and what I ranted about yesterday is everybody want to talk about what's wrong, but even the solutions, right? We got private funders. We got people with the means to do some of the stuff that we know we need and that these young people are saying that they want, but then they scared. They don't want to touch it. They don't want to invest. But they want to invest in the stuff that appears though. You know what I'm saying? Like, we playing with each other. We playing with the solutions. We playing with the problems. And it really get frustrating to just always, and that's one of the things that I know I appreciate about our platforms is we try to show not only report what's happening out here, right, but we try to show the positive stuff and the great stuff about Milwaukee that people don't get to see because they really not paying attention to that. They put out all the attention on the shootings and the car crashes and stuff like that, but we try to show the other things in Milwaukee. Shout out to you for your awards event. I popped in. I don't know if you seen me. For a second, I saw Farina get her award.
Farina, yep.
And a bunch of other people, and I popped out. But then your basketball event, your cleanups.
Right.
I bet that stuff don't go viral. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, that don't get all the comments and shares of this. You see a body on the ground.
Man.
People love to focus on what's wrong, but it's so much great with this city that people don't ever get to see because they ain't looking for it. So we got to do better as the people who want to see better. Because I like to put the lens on other people, right? There's no difference from the person that's running around out here crazy with a legal gun, who doing whatever they doing in the community, versus the person with the legal gun who think, if somebody breaking my car, I could shoot them. Y'all the same person. So you have to turn that lens on yourself. I see people mad at these kids for stealing cars, but you buy from a booster. It's both stealing. So you have to turn that lens on yourself and see how am I contributing to the problem and am I contributing to the solution? Because, listen, my team looking skinny. I got 2 people on my team, and we dealing with a whole city.
Right.
When I put a call out to see who will step up and do this work, it'd be crickets, bro, especially on the men's side.
Hey, look, I'll tell you this. Before... I ain't gonna even say that because I you know what? Sometimes some things is best left unsaid. I'm gonna tell you the conclusion. I'm gonna get to the conclusion. My conclusion is that we as people need to reorganize the way we think about how we deal with our community because many times we'll jump out there to try to do something, and 9 times out of 10, the people that will come back and say things about you is the people you helped. And so when I started realizing the mentality, I had to reconform at how I was dealing with it. That's why I'm by request. Because at first I was just, just random, like making sure that I was trying to get to as much as I can. And then all of a sudden I saw that, that may not be the way to go. So I just started saying, now I got to be by request. So that way there's a mutual understanding that what I'm there for. Yeah. Because I work better in that space, So at the end of the day, I had to make a lot of adjustments in this city, understanding the dynamics, understanding that a lot of the people on the front lines won't get the help, won't get the assistance, won't get maybe some of the funding to expand what they're doing. You know what I mean? So it's just a tough reality many times as people that are working to try to make a difference. That okay, there may be some outside ideas that's working against that as well.
Yeah. Like I said, man, it's all about investment. And if we're not willing to put our money and our time and our energy in the places that count, we talking about a shortage of police officers and fire and EMS and all this stuff. But we got under 100 people on the everyday front lines of, violence intervention and interruption and mediations. Mm-hmm. So when people see these numbers at the end of the year, when they talk about so many shots, so many fatal, non-fatal, what they don't see is those situations we stepped into where it could have been a mass shooting versus one person getting shot. Or there was no shooting because somebody intervened in that situation, right? So those are numbers that are not being quantified or put into the equation of the lives saved and those people who would have been fatally shot but are walking around okay today. Some of them people who would have been shooters that people reached out to and got them to sit down somewhere, And we did that just by, back in the day, Khalil and everybody had those marches. We were going, you threw a couple, Tracy threw a couple. It's just we go through the community doing these Stop the Violence rallies, just showing love.
Annually.
Listen, it's been a couple times where we done walked through a community and somebody was sitting on a stoop and they seen us come past. They came and saw what we was talking about. And the person would say, listen, I appreciate, man, y'all coming out here because I was finna go do something. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just lifted my energy and got me out of that. And I'm good now, So it ain't much, man. You just have to do something because, and what are people willing to do? You can't just go about existing and caring about yourself because we ain't put on this earth for ourselves. We put on this earth with billions and billions of other people. So you have to contribute something to society to make it better.
I'll say this. I have very little tolerance for people that ain't about that action. Like, I got all the patience in the world for people that's willing to do the work. Mm-hmm. But it's too much noise outside of that. Because now I'm asking, okay, what you got all this extra, you saying all of this, what we finna do?
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay, now that we done 20 minutes, this going on, that going on. Mm-hmm. Okay, what we finna do?
I thought it ain't finna be no.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. They ain't finna. No, it ain't gonna be. So that's why I stopped. Like I can't focus on those that are not trying to do anything. Mm-hmm. Many times it's rattling cans. Mm-hmm. It's loud talk. It's just loud talking.
Yeah.
So I always ask because hey, Tory, this going on, that going on. What are you trying to do? Mm-hmm. Are you trying to put something together? Because we know how to put stuff together.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll help you put it together. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Let's get out here. Let's make an impact in your way. What do you feel that you can do?
Yeah.
And I think that many times I don't even get a call back.
Yeah. It's always the few, brother. It's always the few that lead the charge, and then everybody else sit back and see what happened and if it's successful or not, and benefit off of it when it's successful. But they'll talk about you while you're doing it like, man, that ain't gonna work. Look at them crazy people over there thinking that's gonna work. And then as soon as it works, they're like, oh, look what we did.
Okay, but what I'm saying is now we got to start getting more defined. Mm-hmm. And so this is why I say, like, I always offer anybody that got any complaints, what you trying to do? Mm-hmm. Why? Because then they'll see that they can do something. Mm-hmm. And I need them to believe that they can do something. And matter of fact, I'm going to help you do something. Mm-hmm. So now, after you understand you can do something, you can get off and running in the right direction.
Yeah.
And this is where we have to end it up. Because it takes a village and it takes a community to save a community. You're never going to get an area resolved with a few people trying to work to figure it all out.
Yeah.
I always make the assumption, look at Sherwood. They close down at like 9 or 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I go walking through there at night, and once it get past 9 or 10, it's closed down. Mm-hmm. This is right next to the north side. Mm-hmm. But the police gonna pull up on me. As soon as I get to a certain area, the police gonna roll up on me and ask me, hey, what's going on tonight? Mm-hmm. Hey, look, I'm just walking, I'm just going for my late night walk, right? But everything is closed down, so it's I don't know how the leadership is or how the psychology is, but they're operating under a philosophy that protects them and keeps their community safe. Now, you get on the north side of Milwaukee, which is right next to Sherwood, people are all types of night, day and night. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is it takes good leadership and good community members to make that happen, to get under one idea of where we can all see and understand how to protect each other. So, and it's going to take a lot of work to get to that point.
Yeah.
I mean, and nobody, no one person can do that.
The crazy part is it don't even take that much. We can ride around this city, and I will say, you see new houses built here and there. You see, what happened in Sherman. You got the Sherman Phoenix and stuff like that. You see some key things
After
that have
the riot,
changed, right? But for the most part, we can drive around any part of the city, specifically the north side, the east side, not River West, the east side, our east side.
Right.
And stuff is, when I first got here as a teenager, some of that stuff is still the same.
Still the same.
Dilapidated buildings, trash everywhere. It's the conditions are not changing at a level that is conducive to the change that we want to see. You know what I'm saying? There's still no jobs. There's still liquor stores and everything else every couple blocks. We need to listen, brother. We got to do something. We got to do something that's a culture shock. I've been telling people if it ain't the last thing we can do, we need to become a township. Have 51% of the north side agree to become North Milwaukee, our own township.
I said that a long time ago. Found out that they stopped. It's a name for it. But they stopped doing it. So
they
it's
don't
like the
let people
governor.
do them?
It's from the state. They stopped doing it.
Oh, so they passed the law.
Yep.
Well, I guess should have did it when we got the
That's
chance.
what I'm saying.
Because then a lot of this could have been fixed that way, But other than that, man, people have to get up out their chair and run for some of these seats and be, accountable and be quality when they get in there.
Because they got the south side, then they got South Milwaukee.
Exactly.
And I saw all of that, and I was like, I thought about that, but then I found out that the state changed the law where it's a name for it that you can't section off certain sides of cities no more. And I said, man, so
after they done did it and
after they done got
benefited from it,
facts,
we don't want them to do it, so. Okay.
I can't think of the name. I got brain fog. I'm going to run the break. When we come back, I want to talk about a lot of the things that you're trying to do, and it's 2026. Some of the things that you have going on out here, Von Mays, that, maybe the community can get behind. Because like I said, it's going to take everybody to try to jump behind people that's working.
Yeah.
Because it's harder to do something with somebody that's reactionary leading the way. It's a lot. But I think that when we talk about what happened over the weekend, I think that this is a call to action that we have to say, what can we do as individuals? What can we do in our communities? What can we do to try to help make the change? We got Tracy Hayes on the lines. How you doing, Tracy? Brother Tracy.
What's happening? I was just listening to your comments earlier, and I remember when I first hooked up with you when we drove way out there.
Right.
With the boy in the barn.
And they got arrested, too. They arrested some people after that, too.
I remember the days leading up to that about how many people called in and said they was rolling. Mm-hmm. And we went out there, we only had 3 cars deep, but listening to how many people called in, we should have had a coach bus full of people, but nobody show up.
And you know what?
And I seen that with my own eyes.
You saw it with your own eyes.
Nobody showed up. And remember, I was the first one down there, and me and my brother looking around like, where everybody at? And I was telling him, I said, they was on the radio talking all that sweet hot iced tea about they going to do this and do that.
Hey,
when it get real. Ain't nobody, when it got real, ain't nobody did nothing, man.
And that's a common occurrence.
Ain't driving out there, ain't got no gas, and you shouldn't have called in to the radio and said you was going to roll out there.
Hey, you and your brother was so prepared, y'all brought breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah, I was like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I'm still gonna bring some ribs to the studio when I get time. But I work 10 hours a
Right.
day, so it'd be kind of hard. I'm gonna hit you up one day. Ain't gonna make no promise. I'm gonna just pop up in there. You gonna smell it when I come in the door. You gonna smell the wood.
Look,
Gonna smell the
hey,
wood
y'all
when I
was so
come in the
prepared.
door.
Y'all was ready for the journey. We had to drive an hour. We had to drive up there like about an hour.
I was past the Dells, man. I usually go to the Dells every summer, but I was past that.
Right.
So, I'm glad I put that.
But you're a witness. But you're a witness. People would talk all that extra, and then when it's time to be about that action, and this is what I'm saying. No matter what you say, if you're not going to go do nothing about it, then it means nothing.
Mean nothing. Me and my brother was sitting in the car like, where everybody at, man? Ain't nobody out here.
And what I tell you, I said, this how it look. I said, this how it look when it get real.
You see it, and you was like, this how it's gonna be. This how it's gonna be. I said, I still had hope. I'm like, man, it was a lot of people called in. I'm rolling with you, Tory. I'm right there. Man, please. Nobody do nothing.
All right.
That's how it is, man.
Hey, Brother Tracy, hey, we got to take it one incident at a time. And, maybe they'll.
The only time I'll call in, if I call in and say I'm going to do something, I'm going to show up. Otherwise, they ain't going to call in and say I'm finna do something. Because I already know if I can do it or not.
That's true. And I appreciate you for showing up. And I thank you.
Right on.
God bless. Hey, look. Vaughn, you came out when we had to go out there with the farm situation, and like I said, but the ones that are going to do the work, they're going to show up anyway. That's why I say that's why when I deal with the brothers and sisters on the front lines, I got a lot of patience for them because they putting their family to the side. They not dealing with their kids a certain way on that day. So I got a lot of patience for the brothers and sisters I see for years. I always tell people we know who's going to show up and do what at this point.
Yep.
If people think we don't talk. People don't think we know.
We check in all the time,
I know I'm talking about, but we know who gonna do what. Like when we show up somewhere, we see the person. We already know what Milwaukee's small. We gonna know. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that they even came. But it's so many people that's blowing out breath out the side of their neck that ain't gonna even do nothing. So I had to cut that noise out. I mean, that's called noise cancellation because unless you're going to be able to get out here and say, okay, I'm finna contribute my energy somehow to making a difference, you wasted my time, energy by standing there listening to what you're saying because you're not finna do nothing.
Yeah. Like I said, historically, man, it's always, we've had the protests here and there, but for the most part, day to day, putting yourself at risk, getting up with that in mind to say literally every day or most every day, I'm going to go out here and do something to contribute to my community, my city. It's always the few. And people don't understand, like, outside of the protests here and there, outside of maybe a press conference here or there, it get real, bro. The stuff that we have to deal with, the violence, the cases, the situations, it's bigger, and it's a lot more than what people may look at and think. Like you said, it might be people who want to duplicate and they see us a certain way and they want that for themselves, right? But when you in people's homes, seeing how they live, seeing a family dysfunction and how they arguing and bickering and got to go to court with people, and it get real, bro, when you really, really doing this.
And family turmoil, they don't talk about that. What was going on before the incident.
Man.
So you got to just be, if you get active enough, you'll learn how to find ways around all of it. And that's repetitious, consistency and repetition. And, like I said, I know I got a lot of formulas because we living in a black community. You may get called to some of anything on any given day. So after years, you just kind of be like, okay, this is how you approach it. But what I've not seen is the community mentality shift towards being about that action. I still see reactionary ideas going on, and that's why I say I'm not the leader.
Yeah.
A lot of people be like, oh, you did. I be like, no, I'm the helper. I'm an advocate and I'm a helper. But the philosophy that we use many times on the front lines, many times we don't get to have that philosophy marketed in a large way so people can kind of come into it many times the marketed ideas are they kind of help spread the chaos. So this is why I said in 2026, it's time for the front lines to be in power, like moving forward, because we need that mentality that we can go out and solve something. And many times you out there without no funding, you know.
Yeah.
So with that mentality, to believe that you could go and take on a situation with no funding, no resources, no group behind you, I wish I had 20,000 people that felt that way.
Yeah. And I also think, man, like you said, like it's so many people who muddy the waters, right? Because you got, you know, I always tell people when they talk about activism in this city, you can't really say but maybe 5 names in the past 10, 15 years.
Past decade,
right?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, even in that group, you know what I'm saying? It get a little,
Well, I
get a
just
little
listen.
shaky. But
I listened to it all.
but
Like,
I think there was a lot of missed opportunities because people can't tell the difference, right? Like, for instance, when I started in the park, to be able to get on live and say, I got 300 kids out here. We trying to grill some food today. We trying to, you know, get a projector and a speaker for them to listen to music and to watch a movie, and for people to deliver, to bring that stuff or send the money for us to get it. You know, that was a beautiful thing. And it didn't even hit me until years later to be like, you know what? People invested tens of thousands into it turned into a 7-day program. We had so much stuff going on. And people funded that. But then you got people who come out here and everything is a cash app. Everything is pay me for this. I need money for that. And they ain't doing it right. For instance, bro, I remember one time this lady went on Facebook and said she raised $7,000 and said she was taking the Sherman Park kids to Six Flags. You think that lady ever took one kid to Six Flags?
I don't think so.
I was so mad.
Oh, wow.
That's $7,000 that could have went to somebody actually who would have did something with that.
Look, we got a special guest in studio. We got Pastor Kenneth Locke II, the lead pastor of Evolve Church. How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. I'm glad to be here with you.
I'm happy you in the studio.
Come on now, I feel good. I'm with you, so I'm all right.
wait a minute. Before we get started, we had the celebrity basketball game. Not this past one. I think you had something came up where you. But the year before, our first celebrity basketball game.
Come on.
We was winning.
He's starting off this way, bro.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna just get this out the way. We was winning the game.
Yeah.
Until you came down and hit that 3-pointer. Then you came back and hit another. Like, I don't know if you went to the side and prayed or not. I don't know what happened.
I asked the angels for help.
I don't know if the angels got the ball in. All I know is I just seen 2 big rainbow shots go in. I said, "Oh my goodness!"
Hey,
and y'all
man,
took over. After that, y'all, it was downhill.
Come on, man.
It was
We
downhill
TTG,
from my
man.
side.
We TTG, ready to go, man. I still love hooping, man. You know, they can't stop me, man. I love it. I love it, Tory Lowe.
Hey, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I was mad at you because I said, man, I know he went and got God on his side. I know God, when he went and prayed, he got a little extra. We lost it. We lost that first year.
It's all right. It's all right.
That was funny. I just wanted to say that. But I appreciate you for being involved. You're actively involved.
Bro.
Evolve is doing something for Easter at the Panthers, the UW Milwaukee Panthers Arena.
Yeah.
What's going on? Explain the idea behind this.
Man. And we're always thinking about ways that we can connect with our generation, man, for hope, for love, for transformation. And right now, I just think Milwaukee is poised for change. I think people see a problem. They think, dun, dun, dun,
right.
Nothing can work. But for me, I always look at environments like this. It's just a perfect condition, man, for the love of God to show up and for lives to be transformed. And so this year, our biggest focus is for men. I feel like so many men just don't have spaces, man. Spaces to ask for help, spaces to be vulnerable, spaces to ask for prayer, spaces just to be, right? And so my biggest passion right now is just getting these young men.
We have to always stay guarded as a black man,
man, it's so
like
hard.
you can't show weakness.
Absolutely.
It's almost like
to do that.
we don't have people to really guide us through some of our emotional things that we go through mentally.
Exactly.
Because we always got to provide. We always got to try to make a way. We always got to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to survive in this world today.
Man, absolutely.
Where do we take the time out to try to... It ain't too many brothers around that you can kind of talk to and kind of unload that. All the OGs...
Where they
go.
at?
You know,
No,
yeah.
legit, bro. I mean, I think it starts from childhood, man. Think about when a little girl falls, she cries. We pick her up, we console her. A little boy falls and he cries. You say, hey, it's all right. Pick it up. You don't got to cry. We're teaching kids at very early ages, for at least little boys, that their emotions don't matter. And so it's a constant fight. And right now, my passion is just creating spaces, not just for mental health. I do think that mental health is extremely important, but to add on to mental health, I would say soul care, making sure that your soul is well.
Now, this is a citywide Easter experience.
It is.
And thousands of people come out to this event.
Absolutely.
At UW Milwaukee Panther Arena.
Yeah, last year we had 8,000. Our goal this year is to pack out the arena right at a little bit under 11,000. And man, we won. Let's go. I like that. We won 3,000 decisions, and what that means for faith-based is people who make a decision that their life is created for something greater than themselves, and they want to live for God, man. And so my passion right now is on fire. We running everywhere that we can. That's why I'm sitting here with you right now.
And I'm happy you're doing it, because I've been trying to get you on the show for the longest, because the movement, y'all target audience is this generation.
Absolutely.
And so y'all had a situation where after Tweezy was shot, y'all did something at one of the establishments on Water Street.
Yeah, absolutely.
And explain that, because a lot of people's like, oh, what y'all doing downtown on Water Street?
Yeah, for sure.
But I understood it. You know?
I mean, everything seems crazy when you don't have an understanding, right? But our goal was, a lot of these young people aren't coming into the church. So what is my job as a pastor? I got to go to them. I can't sit in the room and wait for somebody to show up. So actually, where's the problem? Like, yo, this happened on Water Street. I told them I don't want to be anywhere else. I want to be on Water Street where it's happened, right? Where families have been affected, where our young men are being pulled into just crazy behavior. And so, man, we went in there. We took over the bar. We told them we can't serve no alcohol while we're here. I said, I'm going to pay for all the drinks, but it got to be juice. Right. And so we paid for juice. And I
thought it was a great strategy.
Oh, it was incredible.
In the time where the churches are empty, many times the young people are not. When we was coming up, you had to be at church on Easter and Christmas.
Come on.
And at least Easter and Christmas you showed up, you know what I mean? Now you don't see that from the young people. So you're taking a more revised approach to church, leading people into evolve, and just letting them know that, hey, look, we want to target the youth today.
We do.
And that seems like one of the missions. When I was coming up, I was a gospel rapper.
Yeah.
And people
I didn't even know that. See, holding out.
See, I was winners in Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting booed in church by the old saints, by the old heads. But I would hit out and do the street meetings, and the neighborhood would come out and rock with me. But on Sundays, because they were kind of from the old generation. But as slowly as the young people started pouring in, then they started understanding, okay, this is the way we need to go. But at first, it was a little pushback.
It's always pushback whenever it isn't the culture you're used to. And so for me, I try to say it this way: the message is always the same, but the methods have to change.
Yes.
And so in order to reach a different generation, you can't come with the same old script. It's like, man, I heard that from my grandma. What do you got next? And I'm trying to show people, man, that there really is a better way, that God isn't trying to take away your personality, your fun, your joy, your identity. In fact, he wants to use that to empower somebody else. And so I always live with the mantra, man, if my life isn't serving somebody else, then what am I doing? And I want every person to live with that mantra. I think if we all live with other people focuses on our mind, we change how we move and how we interact with others.
What is your core message right now? My core message, I say, is time to repair the village.
Oh, I love that, bro.
I came in with that vision, like we got to all hands on deck. Yeah. Everybody need to bring their talents back to the village.
Man, I love that. I might want to steal it in the future.
Well, you can go right ahead. Just as long as you give me a little,
Listen, just Tory Gators tell me I'm adding up.
I'll take that. But you know what I'm saying? It's like we at the point now that we got to return to ourselves.
Yeah, man. Come on, bro. Yeah. That's so good. Our core messages have been for a long time. It's kind of like threefold. It's love God, love people, and love ourselves. And I think that everything starts with love, not the love now that we think it is. Love is a verb. It's not supposed to be a sitting word. It's an action word. And so when we say, man, loving people or loving ourselves, I think that if we don't love ourselves, we can't love our communities better. We can't love our families better. If we don't actually sit in the mirror and say, my life is worth it. Me challenging myself, my discipline, my growth to be better, right? And then I can go and I can love others in the same way. And so with a lot of young people, I realize that, man, they're so trapped sometimes in this ecosystem that's meant to tear them down. They never pause to ask, like, man, how much do I love me? Because if I love myself, the way that I think I do. Some environments I would never put myself in.
Right.
Certain things I'm just not doing. because
Certain
love
friends
me.
I wouldn't have.
Come on, man. I love me too much, man. God made me special, and to lean into that.
Well, like I said, when you start moving that way, you know, people start hating on you because they can't use your energy.
Come on.
They can't use it to destroy you. You know what I mean? So, I mean, some people will take your energy and try to destroy you.
Oh, bro.
And so I tell people, you gotta understand that. Some people, everybody around you don't like you. They're feeding off your energy.
Man, absolutely, bro. Especially when you're somebody, man, like yourself, or us, you know, strong guys who are vocal,
Right.
who know who they are, who aren't afraid to speak up about issues. When people see that, you got to be one or the other. Either they're going to absolutely love you and rock with you,
Right.
or they're on the other side saying, man, I hate it. Why? Because I can't stifle that energy.
Right.
And I know that about
I
myself.
can't benefit from it.
Come on, I know that about me, man. Like,
Right,
so,
hey.
you know, I know those that know me, like, I love it. But if you don't understand it, you're like, man, why you always smiling? He everywhere at the same time. Like, what are you doing? But they don't realize, man, I feel called to something greater than me. I want to die empty, bro. I don't want to die with all this potential in me. They say that the graveyard carries the most potential. And I'm like, I don't want to die with my potential, man. I want to die empty. I want to help as many as I'm supposed to help, serve as many as I'm supposed to serve, man, and keep going.
Well, speaking of helping as many as supposed to help, y'all going to be a part of the community cleanup this year.
Yes, sir,
And
man.
this is a big deal. You know, we're going to be out at Evolve Church in that area this
Yes.
year. I
Yes.
appreciate y'all for joining the cleanup.
Man, come on, we married to our
Pow.
community. Come on, I'm gonna send as many as you need. How many people
Hey, look.
be out here together?
Look, let me tell you something. Last year we had almost 300, and so I think this year we gonna double that.
Hands
you
down.
know? And my goal was like, let's get to church, because like sometimes when I'm out here, I don't see. Like I said, when I was coming up, the elders, you know, they was out in the neighborhoods, knocking on doors, canvassing, street things going on, like where they went to the people.
Yep.
Now
Yep.
it's like, okay, I need to have that feeling,
Go have
because you
to.
can't make that change. Prayer changes things, and
Come
if you ain't
on.
got the people that's devoted to prayer and dedicated in the spiritual aspect,
man.
you don't have healing.
Come on, bro. Like, listen, I'm glad you're saying this, because what you're doing is what we do. We've already done community cleanups and community walks. So you inviting us, it was
Right.
like, we were just excited to have friends, excited to have family.
Man,
people.
I was excited. I was the same way. I'm like, okay, well, let's get some. Then when they was like, okay, we want to be a part of, I was like, oh my God, this is what we need. We need a well-rounded approach to making change.
Come on, we all got to do it together.
Yeah,
like
facts.
you said, man, we got to come back and build the village. So keep us counted in, man. Anytime y'all doing something to serve our community, we in it.
Now, look, I want to ask, how could people join the service
Yeah, man. But
at the UW Panthers Arena on Easter?
Yeah, it's on
how can they
Easter.
get involved in that?
Man, it's at 11 o'clock. Do no tickets required. Just show up. We've already taken
Just
care
come
of
in.
everything. Just come in. Just come in, enjoy. Our goal is to serve people, right? And so when people have been hurting and carrying so much, I'm not asking them to come to give anything. Man, just come and receive. Let us pray for you. Let us speak life into you, and let us restore hope. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest things missing in this next generation. They just don't have hope. They don't see that it can get better, that there's more for them. But once you see my life is created for better and it will get better, you change the way you move in every cycle.
That's powerful.
Come on, man.
Look, once again, this is going to be a big event on Easter.
Let's go.
April 5th, 2026, UW Milwaukee Panthers Arena Evolve Church hosting a citywide Easter experience, bringing in thousands of people to worship on Easter.
Let's go. I'm excited.
Inspiration.
I'm ready to go right now.
What's the message? I mean, I ain't gonna
I
try
can't
to.
give you
You
that.
can't tell me.
You already
But look, we got guests in the studio. We got Black Shife, who have came in. He's an advocate. He deals with a lot of the community patrols in the neighborhoods. Black Shife, thank you for stopping through. But you brought a family with you today. And,
Absolutely.
And Black, I know that you out here, you got a lot of hats. You wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
But at one of the hats is advocating and dealing with families and mentoring.
Yes, with the
and,
youth.
And with the youth. And so today we have a family that is with you. And I want to know more details on what is going on with this family that you brought in the studio today.
So I'm on, Andrew. I'm good.
You on?
So a few months ago, I was in one of the groups, one of the music groups actually, and one of the artists, she shared a video like, "Hey, y'all see this?" And it was a young lady being violently removed from her vehicle. You know what I mean? And the officer saying that he didn't need a reason to pull her out, et cetera, et cetera. And I reached out to her. You know what I mean? I put it in in one of the avocation groups, the activist groups, and I wanted to hear her side, what was going on, and I tapped in with her, and she told me give her some time, and she reached back out. So I told her out the gate, like, hey, we can see what's going on, get you to talk to some people, you know what I mean, get some more people advocating for you. And she was with it. She wanted to talk to her mother. So recently she reached back out to me, and here we are. I felt like it was my due diligence, you know what I mean, to bring her down here to speak on this, because her being not just a young lady, a young black lady, you know what I mean, a young black female in the inner city, and this shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen to anyone, but definitely our young women. And
the situation consisted of her being
totally
physically abused in many
so many
cases.
words. You know what I mean? She was totally
by
cooperative.
law enforcement.
Yes, but she in so many words. That's what happened. She was totally, from the video. She was told, and what she
there's
stated,
video too.
Yes, she stated she was cooperative. It shows she was cooperative, and I don't feel like it should have went that way. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, we got the video, and we got Essence and her mom, Jennifer, in the studio. I appreciate y'all for coming through to talk about what took place. How you doing, Essence?
I'm doing good. I'm a little shaky from just having to revisit the situation right now. So
When did this happen?
this happened February 2nd around like 8 p.m.
What was going on? What happened? You were leaving.
I was leaving a dinner because I myself was having a rough day, so I'm just like, oh, let me, take myself out to eat to Longhorn. So I wrap up my dinner.
And Longhorn is in where? West Allis?
West Allis, I believe, yes.
Okay.
So I'm wrapping up my dinner. I'm driving, maybe like 10 minutes out from Longhorn. And then I'm checking in my rear view because I always check my rear view here and there. And I seen you can tell when it's either a police or like a parking like security, or just by like the car. So I'm thinking like, I'm not thinking anything of it. I was just basically thinking like, oh, it's probably like a parking security behind me or something like that. But as I kept driving, I kept seeing him pop in and out of lanes, like trying to get behind my car. And so like as I'm about to hit the highway, there's a stoplight. So I'm the first at the light, and he should have been first at the light. But no, he decided to stay back at least like 1 or 2 car lengths. And I'm just like,
So you being
whoa.
followed by a law enforcement officer.
Right, like
is this a
now-
vehicle, a police vehicle?
It's
an
a
actual
state
vehicle?
trooper.
A state trooper
It's
vehicle.
a trooper vehicle, yes. So I'm just like, whoa, now I'm kind of nervous because it's just like, okay, I'm just waiting on you to flick your lights now, because me knowing I don't have valid plates on, I still have my dealer plates on, so that was partially my fault. So I'm already knowing, like, I'm preparing myself that I'm finna get, that I'm
He
about
saw
to
the
get,
car with the dealer plates.
right, that I'm about to get pulled over. So I'm driving on the highway, he's still following me. So I'm just like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but hopefully I make it home, or he's, just finna just let me go. But no, I end up getting off of the highway, making a turn. Still nobody's pulling me over. Still nobody's pulling me over. I hit Brown Deer, but before that, I actually sped up a little bit because I was so nervous, because I'm like, okay, why is he following me? But he's not pulling me over or flicking his lights. So I kind of sped up. I wouldn't say I was going over maybe like 10 miles per hour over the speed limit. And he finally flicked his lights once I hit that corner. And I immediately pulled over. He got out the car. And then, mind you, before this day, I had got ticketed for me having dealer plates, or I guess no insurance. So I already had the ticket, and I expressed that to him like, okay, I got a feeling why you pulling me over. I just got ticketed for this yesterday morning. So he's like, okay, let me see some identification. I'm looking at my purse. Mind you, I put my dome lights on, my car is fishbowl, so it's no like, I don't smoke in my car. I don't do anything. I made sure the dome lights were on so he can see fully in my car, hear me, anything. So I didn't realize that I misplaced my ID, and it was in my glove department with the ticket that I just had from being pulled over previously. So I told him, like, yeah, I don't know where my ID is, but you can look me up. I had this problem before with not having my ID being pulled over. And, you know, they just ask, what's my name?
What's your social security number?
Write it down, everything. They go back to the car, and they look me up. He's so fixated on, roll your window down all the way. I have my window rolled down enough to where you can literally stick your hand in there. He can pass me anything, any documents that he needed to pass me. But he expressed like, yeah, I need to pass you my notebook so that you can write your name down. I said, I'm giving you my name right now, and I can reach for the notebook right here if you just pass it to me. No problem. So he goes back. He doesn't even get my name. I don't think he got my name. He doesn't even get my information or anything. He goes back to the car, and when he returns, this is when I'm on the phone with my mom now, and I start recording. He goes back, but then he comes back with some spikes. At the time, I didn't know what he had put under my tire. I just know that I seen him put something under my tire. So then I expressed like, Ma, he just put something under my tire. He came back and asked me to step out of the car. I'm like, what am I stepping out of the car for? Then he proceeded to ask for my information. Gave him my information, went back to the car, and came back and asked for my to see my VIN number. I guess he couldn't see it because something was partially blocking it, but me being in a situation that I'm in now, I didn't want to reach for anything, and he asked me to reach for something or like to clear the pathway of the VIN number being partially blocked. So I'm just like, I expressed to him like, I'm nervous. I don't want to reach for anything. So he continually.
Did he snatch you? Did he try to break in the car? Did he break the window?
No, this is what's next. He goes back to the car because I'm asking for a supervisor now because he's so arrogant with me now, and you know I'm nervous. And he's like, "Nah, this not how this works." He comes back with another police officer now, and they're just like pleading me to get out of the car, and they're expressing like they don't have to have a reason for me to get out of the car. And mind you, they didn't even tell me why I was getting pulled over to begin with. So I'm just asking for a reason, like why am I getting pulled out of the car?
And your mom is on the phone too.
My mom's on the car on the phone too, and she's telling me like not to exit the vehicle because they're not giving me a reason at all. So yeah, it was just a back and forth, and they're just like,
so
okay,
how did
we're
they
gonna bust the
eventually
window.
start getting aggressive towards you?
They just bust my window.
So they bust the window out.
Bust my window out, and they dragged me out of the car. And mind you, it's now about like 3 police cars now, like, and they're all like lined up for me. I don't know why. I have a clean driving record and everything. It's not like he smelled anything on the car. He didn't ask me to do a breathalyzer, see if I was drinking or not, anything of that. So now it's like 3 police officers yanking me out of the car, and I could have got out of the car, but my body went so limp because I was so scared that they just dragged me out of there. They tossed me on all of the glass that broke from my window. And from there, I had scratches all over me because I was thrown on the glass, so it was blood all over my clothes.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, he didn't answer any of my questions. I couldn't get any information. And mind you, this is Brown Deer, so there's like a Brown Deer police station about 5 minutes from where we're at. Not even, probably. 5-10 minutes from where we at. He expressed that he was taking me down to Milwaukee County. And I asked him why. I'm like, if you're finna do, that was his plan, to do a book and release, I guess, for the ticket. So if that was your plan, why take me all the way to Milwaukee County to try to book and release me? We get to Milwaukee County, and all of the officers are just arrogant. Like, it was horrible. It was a horrible experience.
So,
we get there, and they can't even book and release me. So we're waiting a whole hour. and more to get booked and released, and they expressed that they can't book and release me there. So now he's going all the way back to Brown Deer to book and release me. And I asked him one more time before, we got on the road again. I said, why would you take me all the way down here if we were 5 to 10 minutes away from Brown Deer police station? And he expressed that I was a little all over the place. And I just didn't get that. Like,
Oh, wow.
Like, why would you take me further? Now, when did you want to just get it over with if I was so-called all over the place? But, yeah, other than that, it was just complete arrogance. I got my phone back. My phone was on airplane mode.
What did they charge you with?
They charged me, I got a ticket for speeding, and I think no registration. I got a ticket
All
for
that
speeding.
for a traffic ticket?
Yes. And then
A busted window, they
busted
snatched
window,
you out the
busted
car,
tire, car towed, all of that.
they put strips in front of the car,
Yes.
all for what? For just a traffic ticket?
For
Yes.
speeding.
Wow.
And the ticket- and
was behind her before she started driving.
Yes, and the speeding ticket was overly exaggerated. It said that I was going 70 in a 45. I was not going 70 in a 45.
All right, Mom, you hearing all of this, you on the phone, what's going through your mind?
I can't get to my child. That's the only thing I could think about. She did express to me that she wanted to floor and get away from them, and I told her not to because I already knew what was going to happen. If they're this agitated at you, if you took off in this car, they're going to shoot and kill you.
Wow.
So basically, that left me because her phone was disconnected from me. I'm calling Brown Deer. I'm calling the county. I went out to Waukesha to try to find out where my child is because the last thing I heard was her yelling at the top of her lungs.
wow.
So it took me about an hour, maybe 2 hours, to finally find out where she was, and was told that she was going to be booked and released from Brown Deer, and that's where I could pick her up. So basically, after this happened, I was trying to figure out how, who, what, how this should be handled, basically. So I did contact the state troopers. I ordered a copy of the report, a copy of all footage from all 3 officers. Of course, they're going to take their time on that. We just finished filing a complaint with DOJ, Lieutenant Governor. We also are just looking for some justice in this case, because this should not have happened to her. And I believe, and this is my opinion, is that, first of all, they didn't know who her parent was. They didn't know how determined I would be to see things through. Now, not to say that there's no other parents out here, but I just happen to have the time and the patience, and I want this rectified.
Well, look, when we come back, I want to know how the community can help with the situation. And like I said, to me, for traffic, something that's a traffic stop, a speeding ticket, maybe some license may not be registered or whatever that case is, broken windows, snatched out the car,
$4,000 in medical bills.
$4,000 in medical bills. 101.7 The Truth, Tory Lowe Show. We got a family in studio, and I'll tell you this. I appreciate you, Essence, for telling your story because it's a lot going on with this situation. Windows busted over a traffic stop. This is a basic traffic stop. Does it have anything to do with you selling drugs or having a gun or anything being life-threatening? You're a young woman. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 19.
19 years old. At what time of day was this?
This is around, because I had work at 10 o'clock. So this is around probably about 8:30.
It's dark out.
It's dark.
And so they see a young woman, 19 years old, no marijuana, no drugs, no nothing, a traffic stop, something that could have been handled easily, and it escalated to them breaking your window, snatching you out the car. They had your information, putting strips in front of the car. Mom on the phone listening to all of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. My heart gets to beating out of my chest every time I see a police ride past me or I'm near any police. Like, I'm very, very traumatized from this. And I done been through some stuff, but this has been the most traumatizing thing ever out of my 19 years of living. And I don't wish that feeling or that experience on my worst enemy or anybody. And yeah, I just hope that I get my justice. That's all that I want from out of this.
Mom, when the body camera footage comes back, let me get some of that. Let me see too as well.
Okay.
Because I know that they gotta have some kind of body camera footage.
So the issue with that is I did a little investigating. So we just finished on the 17th, put in a complaint with DOJ and the lieutenant governor. According to what's written is that if something wasn't done in the first 90 days of the incident, then it's hard for anything to be solved. They kind of just drop it. So that's why I feel at this point in time, we got this state troopers waiting on paperwork to send me the report because I ordered it like on the 4th. Telling me it's going to be a long time. I called to follow up and see when I could get it. Oh, we have other reports in front of you. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'll take that. I'll take that. So with that, I guess what we would need or appreciate is some advice as to how to go or where to go from here, because I think I've done my due diligence up to this part, and then maybe a lawyer, a therapist for both of us, and just a path so that we can see ourselves clear, because there is no way in the world. I haven't been able to look at the video because I heard everything going on, that this should happen to anybody's child.
You said $14,000 in medical bills.
$4,000.
$4,000. Okay, $4,000 in medical bills.
Hey, let's go for it.
What was the harm? What was the damage?
As far as her, she had a chip bone in her wrist. She had cuts and everything else. But they did X-rays and everything else to make sure nothing else was going to happen. Now, at the point in time that this incident happened, they did offer her an ambulance to go get checked out, but she was under duress. She wanted to get through the situation as fast as possible. She didn't want to be detained or in the presence of any of the officers. She wanted to get her ticket and come home. So, and then even with that being said, there was no ticket on the spot. This man said, you'll get your ticket in the mail. Now, you didn't cause all these issues and problems with this excessive force, and then at the end of the situation, you said, we're going to mail you the ticket?
They lost my ID. On top of that.
So you gave him the ID. They eventually lost the ID.
I eventually found my ID while he went back to his car, and I gave it to him. And I didn't get my ID because he said he lost it. So at the end, when I was ticketed, yeah. So I had to go through all of this the next day to try to get my ID, insurance, car registered. I had to go the extra mile because I didn't have an ID.
All right, so and at the end of the day, you're asking that we get a little bit more legal aid in this situation.
Because I have no recourse or how to expedite the video or the report. And then Sergeant White of the state troopers, they have this spiel at the end that if you if this investigation tells that you are lying, we will press charges. But the thing is that the charges need to be pressed against the officers that handled the situation.
Overly
Do not-
aggressive.
Yes. Do not threaten me because I know what's wrong or right. I've been here for 57 years, and I know what you did and have a criminal justice background.
You
So-
wouldn't have never thought this would happen from your daughter, 19 years old, going to Longhorn
Yeah.
to have dinner, get out, be followed, and basically abused and harassed, basically over something as simple as a traffic ticket.
We don't even know if it was a traffic ticket. That's what he came
So
up with.
what was the charges?
The charges was the traffic ticket
Right.
and the registration, but he never said why he stopped her. That was after the fact. We didn't know why he stopped her until we got the ticket in the mail.
Put her through all of that and then gave the son the ticket in the mail.
Absolutely.
Wow.
With no rhyme or reason.
Well, look, I appreciate you, Black Shy, for bringing this family
Absolutely.
through. Because one thing we can do in this community is get the word out and make sure that we can see what resources are available to these families. And I thank you for doing that today. You know what I mean? I'll
problem.
work on my end to see what I can do too as well. Because once again, we have a young woman, 19 years old, not breaking the law. Maybe the tags. You said you already got a ticket for the tags.
Yeah, the previous day.
So that's maybe a traffic stop.
She can't control a dealer tag.
Well, what I'm saying is either if a trooper pull you over, okay, that's either another ticket
Yeah.
or they're gonna tow the vehicle.
Yeah.
That's not
It's not
breaking
even-
the
yeah, it's
glass.
not that deep.
That's not snatching people out of the car. That's not doing all this extra that took place.
Really.
Yeah. So basically, any counseling that me and her can get to work through this, and any information regarding a lawyer that can help us expedite this paperwork. So I don't know if the state can do that on their own or the Department of Justice can do that on their own, but we need a copy of it. We need to have
So the
something.
open records request for the video has been filed.
I did.
Okay.
And I have the date and the time, everything, as to when I did all that.
Here we go. Well, look, I'm gonna see what I can do to see if I can help and assist. Once again, tragic situation where
Absolutely.
a young 19-year-old black woman, black girl out here going to Longhorn. This happened from going to Longhorn. Not nobody that was out here dealing drugs, not nobody that was out here doing heinous things in the community. This happened to a young woman that was trying to get back home from going out to eat. Now, this is a black woman that got this $15.4 million in racial discrimination. If you're watching this, we broadcast live. I need y'all to listen to this story, Truth Nation. I got a lot to say about it, but I need y'all to tap in right quick. If you're watching this, we broadcast live. We got video. Let's listen.
Look at the huge number, but nobody looked at the huge price I paid to be at the city and work as a black woman in the city and being the only black at that time. And that number still is not big enough for me of the time that I lost with my children and my family that I could never get back.
The city of Fresno never took this case seriously. They fought it for over 7 years in court, and we finally had our day in court and justice prevailed.
The public's going to think what they want to think anyway, but I hope that they realize that justice was done here today.
We
Is that it? Hey, look, like I said, woman wins $15.4 million after supervisor called her an entitled N-word. And you know, it took 7 years. See, it could get expensive using the N-word in the business. I try to tell people when they come to me and they say that somebody in their job called them the N-word, I said, okay, people gonna learn how expensive it is to really act out like that, act racial in the workplace. You can lose a lot of money this is why I say you gotta be a dummy if you're doing this in the workplace, in the work environment, being racial, saying the N-word, you know, because you're putting the business at risk. It may take 7 years to get it, but hey, you cannot do that in an establishment. This is why I say some of y'all get called out of y'all name and y'all want to fight. Well, then y'all got y'all reward right there. Y'all now they can't tell who started what because now you done threw the blows. Now both of y'all getting charged, so you may not be able to take that to court and do anything with it. Maybe a lawyer may not take that. But if you do the right thing and somebody doing something to you in the business setting, especially saying the N-word, you might be able to hit the business in the pocket. Don't get emotionally triggered where you lose the ability to take them to court. Now, it may take a long time to get it, but she said that even the $15 million wasn't even enough for all of the time she had to spend away from her family, her kids, fighting this. You know what I mean? So salute to this woman, for holding them accountable. See, sometimes justice don't come swift. But trust me, when that $15.4 million hit, it was right on time. I'm trying to tell you. And I tell people, these lawsuits it's not no overnight thing. And then that ain't even guaranteed that you're going to make it all the way through the system to see the end. Because they're going to work to get it dismissed. So salute to her, salute to this woman. $15.4 million due to somebody calling her an entitled N-word. It can get expensive. I mean, I know if y'all out in the street saying that you might get, somebody might hit you with the soulfish. The ancestors might come through the DNA and knock your jaw loose. But if you're in the business, you might hit them pockets, smack them pockets a little bit if you do the right thing and make sure that you understand that there's other ways around it. The last couple of days we've been talking about just the situations that happened over the weekend, but I want to move into just what's going on with NPS. A lot of things is coming out about NPS right now where they're going to cut some teachers. They're going to cut some positions because they have a $45 million budget deficit. And, many times when we talk about just education, our children's education, we also like to understand that teachers need living wage jobs as well because they're the educators of our youth. And I think that nobody had an issue with giving money to NPS because I don't think it became a problem till we found out that a lot of the paperwork wasn't filled out correctly. A lot of the paperwork when it comes to the state wasn't handled correctly, and then maybe some mismanagement going on with the finances. But $45 million in the hole, and now Caselius, the current superintendent, now has to make tough decisions. So it's one of those things where a lot of people are feeling some type of way. A lot of the educators, a lot of the vice principals, they're going to cut a lot of those ideas out as well. So, Andrew, I think I sent you something on this to your text message. I think WICN covered this. But I'll say this. We got to continue to understand that the children in these schools, in these public schools, have an ongoing battle. And many times we talk about low test scores. Many times we talk about, do we have the proper activities for these youth? Now we have the conversation of cuts being made to the public school system due to a budget deficit, a budget crisis. So how is that going to affect our children? And many times we already got things like bullying going on. We got situations where, children are being not educated. A lot of times, a lot of these kids are graduating, don't even know how to read. They don't even write cursive. So what do we have here? They just had a press conference on the programs they're going to have for the summer. The mayor and the superintendent came together and they came out with the press conference just the other day about this summer programming and things like that, which is fine. But are the kids getting what they need on a day-to-day basis inside these schools? A lot of people would raise an eyebrow to that. I'll say this. We got to be more attentive as parents, as people that have our children enrolled in a lot of these public school ideas. Now, I'll say that I know parents that do go up there and try to check on the kids, and I have ran into some parents that don't. You know, I don't know where you as an individual listener fit into that category, but I think that MPS also needs a huge parent movement. A lot of parents just got to get involved to keep an open eye on what's going on, instead of coming up there reactionary when there's a problem. I think that we have to get ahead of the problem and just get up to the schools, or have a family member representative that can go up there. Maybe you can't go up there, but maybe somebody can go up there and represent the family as a volunteer, or rotate to try to make sure that you're getting ahead of the curve. I think that schools with high parent participation, they do better when the parents are involved, actively involved. And I remember when my son, we were out in Minnesota, and I tell this story all the time. He was going to school out there, and they told me that all parents have to volunteer so much time each month to the school where their child is a student. Well, I remember I missed one of those sessions, and all the parents called me. I'm getting all these phone calls. Hey, Tory, where you at? We miss you. Why weren't you present at the event today? You were on the schedule. And I, I'm from Milwaukee, so it wasn't no big deal. And I'm thinking you know what? I got something else to do. No, it was like, hey, no, if your name is on this date, Tuesday at 11, you need to be there. And I got that right away. The first time I missed one of those volunteer events, they got on top of me. So I started going on a regular basis because I didn't want to be letting nobody down, letting the kids down. So when I got to the school, I had to read to different children. I would spend 30 minutes reading a book to one of the students. And I loved doing it. I started on a regular basis. Then I started really starting to see what else I can do. And next thing you know, I'm volunteering at the games and things like that, and volunteering at the concessions. And it was just fun to be a part of a environment where the parents were so active that they called you if you missed the volunteer, because it was so important. So I think that for me, seeing that in the school system, when I come home to Milwaukee, and I say, okay, we need a huge parent movement, I believe that from what I've seen in Minnesota, how it worked, how it helped a lot of the students, many times a lot of the students would be almost like my own child, because you get to know them. You get to know who they are. You get to know who their parents are. So you become this village, this family. So it's just one of those things I would love to see right here in the city of Milwaukee when it comes to the public school system. And I can have wishful thinking, but really it's going on in other places, and we can reduplicate a lot of those great ideas for the betterment of the youth. And I'm hoping that the parents as a whole understand how much power you have when your child attends a school, when your child is involved in the school setting. How I think that we don't take full advantage of being a parent, having a student at these schools. And many times when we don't take advantage of being a parent, having your child enrolled, coming up there before something bad happened, before, it's something negative going on, I think that builds up the respect and between the parent and the teacher and the communications, and we can weed out the ones that are causing the problems when everybody's active. But when you're not active, people can start falling through the cracks. Teachers who are in there purposely giving students bad grades. I got called to a couple schools here where teachers their assignments, people have A's on their assignments, but then they'll mess up on the test and they'll give them a D. So the kid is confused because, okay, I messed up on the test. I got, a low grade on the test, but all my assignments are good. So is that the teacher or is that the student? Is that the miscommunication when they give the test? If the student is getting good grades on the assignments, I don't know. It's just we can work that out if we have an active parent movement. And salute to dads on duty. JB Fresh always comes in and gives us an update on that program. Dad's on Duty. A lot of the other programs that are driven to push parent activity. We need that right now. What about the changes, the shakeup that's going on at NPS? They're saying that there's going to be a lot of cuts to staff. If you listen as we broadcast live, we got some video and audio on this. If you're watching 101.7 The Truth as we broadcast live on YouTube, let's listen.
Jobs will not exist next year. 70 of the job cuts will be in the central office, I should say. 62 teachers who are not assigned to one classroom and 59 assistant principals. MPS says the cuts will save about $30 million, helping offset a $46 million budget deficit. The district is working to find other jobs for the affected employees. In other news tonight, this week, Milwaukee.
All right, so like I said, those are a lot of jobs that won't exist next year. I feel bad for the assistant principal because they worked their way to try to become a principal. But if they're going to rearrange that, where do the assistant principal go? Do they go back to being a teacher? I mean, that's got to be a tough space right there for the assistant principal. When I see that, it's disheartening, but like I said, Caselius has to make those tough decisions to make those cuts, and a lot of times somebody else would have kicked the can down the road for the next person to come along and take on some of those tasks. But that's why I say I see some things going on with the new superintendent that I haven't seen with past superintendents and since in the last decade. So she's trying to do something about the budget. She's trying to make the cuts. Those are tough decisions to make. And here we go. And I'm sure we had stories about coaches that weren't even getting paid. They weren't even getting a check. So it was that going on. And so what is going on with that now that they have this deficit? Are they going to eliminate some coaches? Certain things with coaching, other situations that are non-teaching.
We've talked about how you have a honeymoon period when you get this type of job, Tory. Honeymoon period kind of feels like it's over.
Oh, the honeymoon is over.
Do you feel like she's doing like an A+ job at this point?
I can't even rate it. I think that we still got to see the whole thing unfold. I think that when you inherit a bad situation, sometimes when you're coming into a bad situation, you got to make a lot of tough decisions, especially if the budget is whacked out. And then it depends on the leadership. And I think that she's trying to make the tough decisions now. And we'll see where the chips fall later, because it's NPS is totally unpredictable. It's so many things, so many fires burning with the public school system at this point. I don't think I can actually say what kind of job is being done until, as whatever decision she's going to have to make as far as to balance the budget. That's one idea. What are they going to do about the bullying going on in the schools, and what are they going to do to uplift the test scores, the grades now that they got all these cuts going on? Will that affect the learning, the student learning? Because even though they're making these cuts, there's still buildings full of kids. So how is that going to affect the students? Okay, I'm just trying to figure that out, because we already got issues. I'm talking about from people getting on the bus to come to school, to staff, doing things to, some of the kids, some of the paraprofessionals, and then you got just regular things that happen when you got a bunch of people dealing with as large as NPS. You're going to have some problems. So this is just one area. So I got to go up there for a lot of stuff. It's some stuff I can't even talk to y'all about on the air that's going on that we're trying to figure out with families and students and teachers and things like that. So where do we end? Where does this fall? Where we can kind of see where if there's some progress, we may not see progress for a year and a half if there's going to be any progress. So I'm not giving nobody no grade right now. I want to talk about another situation. This is something that we didn't had this on the docket for a couple days now. I've been trying to get to this story. This is a story that a woman identified as a serial. Yeah, I don't want to know I don't know if can we say that on the radio? A serial defecator tells officers who caught her in the act. She said they was mortified by this. What is a serial defecator? Pooping all over the place. Some of y'all are serial gas passers. But I guess this is a woman that has an issue with pooping all over the place. We got some video on this. This is kind of weird. Let's listen.
Call it a code brown, if you will. Stoughton police catching eyes and turning stomachs with a February Facebook post not fit for dinner time debate.
Police in Stoughton used a drone and a trail camera to ID and later arrest a woman they call a serial defecator.
Before that post took off, police counted 2 number 2s in Scheffelker Park outside Madison.
Oh, wow.
Officers writing in the report the human feces they found did include toilet paper. Hope they make her pick it up, one person responded. It's way too cold to be doing your business outside, another added. Determined to catch the poopatrator, Stoughton police set up trail cameras and launched a department drone. And there she was. 5 a.m. February 5th, an officer spots a runner leaving the main trail toward the woods police believe to drop another smelly souvenir. 2 minutes later, the runner returns to the main path, unaware an officer is waiting with a body camera rolling.
Can you come here and talk to me?
Sure.
Can you look directly above me?
Oh,
See
wow.
the drone that just caught you going to the bathroom back here?
Yeah.
You've been doing this quite a while, too.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Her apology not enough to wipe away what's already been done. She explains she's a regular runner and normally sees a porta potty on her route during the summer. Still, police promised a citation for indecent conduct. And remember that social media post? Police pointed out, for those concerned the suspect was or is homeless, she is not. In fact, we've learned she is a health professional, a nurse practitioner with links to UW Health and SSM Health, according to online profiles. 12 News is not identifying her as she's not charged with a crime. She did not answer our calls for comment, but in the video did express regret after a third and likely final fecal infraction.
I do not want this situation. I'm
Yeah, this
mortified.
is not going on TV. This is not going...
No, but it's still...
Yeah.
Needs to be addressed, and I'm really sorry.
I will let you continue your run. Please don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. A serial pooper. Like, Eddie need to call in and explain this. See, he always trying to call in and talk about things in the black community, but what's going on with this? They even had to bring the drone out to catch this lady. Like, you know it ain't that much crime going on if they focusing in on somebody that's pooping on a trail. You know what I mean? So, like I said, they had the drone. They caught her red-handed. She's a healthcare professional that like to poop outside. I need Eddie to call in and explain this. Somebody asked me this question, and I just kind of kind of had to think about it before I answered the question. But I want to ask the question to Truth Nation, and understand that this is a question you only get to have one answer, and I only want to know why you answered it the way you answered it. Don't give me a bunch of things. I just need one answer and why that answer. Okay? So I'm going to say it now for those that are listening. So when you call in, you don't start talking about 20 million things. I only need one answer to this and why. All right. Well, I'm gonna get a question of the day. If you had a person standing next to you and they asked you, what do you want? They will fulfill one of the things that you want. Only one thing. What do you want? And it's from a human aspect. It's not a genie in a bottle. It's not 3 wishes. This is somebody, a regular person, standing next to you and say, what do you want? I will give you the one thing that you want right now. What would you want? And why? Why do you want that? And this is not, I mean, this person can go and get it or go and do it and come back and say, okay, I got you what you want. And then that's it. They say be careful what you ask for, because if you get it, can you maintain it? Can you keep it? 833-212-1017. A person standing next to you, they say, what do you want? They'll go get it, no matter what you say. You say, what do you want? One thing. It's only one thing that they can do, and it's a want. And after that, it's nothing else. They're gone. What do you want? And it's sad because a lot of people, like when it's time to eat, they be like, I ask somebody, well, what do you want to eat? I don't know, or what do you think? Like, it's hard for them to come up with something precise. But if somebody asked you, what do you want? Yeah, they'll go get it. Like, and it's got to be within the ramifications of something that a human can get you. It can't be nothing wild and crazy and no fantasy or nothing. What do you want? And presto, I'm going to go do that one thing. It can't be cash. It can't be cash. It's a want. It can't be cash. You can't say, I want $1 million. You can't do that. No. What do you want? I'm going to go get it. 833-212-1017. We got Don on the lines.
833.
How you doing, Don?
Hi.
Hey, turn the radio down. Turn your radio down a little bit so we can hear you.
Okay, I did. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get out of my car now. What I would really like, it's not for money or nothing like that, just no crime in the city. Actually, just all over.
Well, that person can't do that. It's not a genie. They're not a genie. It's not a magic. It's a person standing next to you, and they asking you what you want, and they'll go get it.
Okay.
It's a person.
Then. I don't know.
I mean, that's why I said, like, you got to think about what I'm asking you now. I'm saying, I'm standing next to you. What do you want? It can't be cash, but I'll go get it.
It's like a riddle.
Oh, I guess she had to go think about it. But in an imaginary sense, her wanting to stop violence, that's the kind of the mode where people go. Kind of like, okay, stop the violence. No, that's a wish. That's a genie. We talking about, well, picture Tory Lowe standing next to you saying, okay, what do you want? Like, I'm going to go get it. Can't be cash. It can't, some people might say a sandwich. Some kind of sandwich. I don't know. But this is something that people have a real hard time with in real life with this question for some reason. I even had the same issue. The one thing that you would want that's realistic, no, it's not cash, what would it be? Andrew, what would you want?
Kindness.
I can't do that. You can be kind yourself. I'm asking you to I'm going to go get something that you want.
You're standing next to me, random guy on the street.
I can't give you kindness.
You can't give kindness?
No, I'm just asking you what you want. You asking me to give you kindness.
Yeah, that's it.
See, you don't even get the question. Y'all not even getting the question. It's not an easy question because I'm not a genie. What is your version of kindness? Well, how do I know what kindness means to you? Kindness is, I'm nice to you now. I'm already giving you kindness.
That's it.
What I'm saying is you already got that. You don't have to want that.
From a stranger, I would.
But listen to what I'm saying. This is why the question is making it so difficult because people don't know what they want. Like, you. No, I'm a regular person. I'm just asking you what you want. I'm already giving you kindness. You already got that from me.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just saying.
I thought you were a stranger.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to get you in the space to tell me what is the one thing you want. Can't be cash.
Got a stick of gum?
Okay, all right, then I can give you some gum. 833-212-1017. Hey, it's a tough question for a lot of people. Have not really tapped in to the realistic idea. Okay, Elon Musk standing next to you, say, okay, what do you want? You can't get cash, but I'll get you what you want. You gonna say a stick of gum? I doubt it. All right, 833-212-1017. Donna's back on the line. How you doing, Donna? How you doing, Donna?
I'm fine, thank you. Okay, you said it can't be, no cash. Now you just said if it was Elon Musk.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to get you in the right frame of mind. Like, I can go get you what you want.
Okay, I really want a new vehicle, although that's not nothing that I really need just because my car is older, but I really want one because you said I can't say nothing about the stop the crime or the violence or whatever.
But then I'll go get the vehicle. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, you want a new vehicle?
But not one of them ugly those Tesla. I think those are the ugliest cars. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so then I can go get you a car.
Yes.
All right, there. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go get you a car. Problem solved. Now I'm gone.
Are you able to get it?
Yeah, I'm going to get it. Yeah. No, what I'm saying is, this is why I say it's difficult to answer the question because when somebody says, okay, well, what do you want? It's always something that's way out there and imaginary, like world peace, stuff like that. Like, no, I'm talking about individually. What do you want? And so you said a car. Okay.
Yeah.
Car.
You want a different vehicle.
You said that you wanted a new car. You know.
Right.
Boom. Simple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I appreciate you for calling back and trying to get that out there. But a lot of times thank you, Donna. A lot of times that conversation, a lot of people, like if you were around people like, well, what do you want? Sometimes a lot of people will default into something. Like I see in the chat, somebody said something about potholes, like I was like, okay, well, that's not something an individual can do for you. Like
get a shovel.
Yeah, like that's we all don't want potholes. That's a city decision. You know what I mean? But what do you want? Like, do you want? I can't even give you I don't want to give out no examples because I don't want you to defer to those examples. I'm just trying to leave it wide open because maybe you have a need. Maybe there's a business that you wanted to start. See, now people going to start adjusting the conversation. I didn't want to do that, but what do you want? It's a tough conversation because people have never been in a position to get that one thing that they may want from somebody. I would just tell the other person that I want them to have a great day. That's simple enough. Okay, well, she's saying, okay, well, I want you to have a great day.
I feel like that's a good answer.
I'm just saying. So you can have any of your wants, and you just want the person to have a great day.
Can a man not be selfless?
No, I'm selfless a lot of times.
That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, I think that I would say I want. Well, see, once I throw out what I want, then all of a sudden here we go. See, I don't want to ruin it. I'm gonna put what I would know what I eventually want. But I'm going to open up the lines, 833-212-1017. If somebody could get you what you want, like if you had a need or some things that, you know, maybe you need something done around the house, you know, a want.